Accountability Call. Good morning, Dream Team Accountability Call. I am your host, Terrell Montez. I'll be taking care of you on this beautiful morning. So first off, I want to raise your energy up. And those of you that I made co-hosts, can you do me a favor and let those people in the room, if you can see it on your screen, please let them in the room. Thank you. So you all, let me go ahead. So you all, happy Monday. So first off, I want to give it back to our amazing leader, Coach Legend, Regional Vice President out in the St. Louis, Missouri, marking and holding it down for the entire team. Because without him, we wouldn't have this amazing accountability call. So give it back to our amazing leader, Coach Legend from the St. Louis, Missouri market. I made a few people co-host to let some people in. I would definitely appreciate if you all can participate and play that role, please. But
yeah, so it was so bad.
Good morning. What? Who was that? But good morning to each and every one of you all. Again, my name is Terrell Montez. I'll be your host on this beautiful money making Monday. But first, you all, I want to give it back to each and every one of you all for showing up for yourself. Because good morning, Tambria, showing up for yourself it's like 90% of it, just showing up for yourself. So I want to give it back to you all for showing up each and every day to this amazing accountability call, showing up for the success of your life, showing up for the better version of yourself, showing up to start that process of evolving into the better person of yourself. So this morning, accountability call. So we have a video that I want to share with you all by Bob Proctor himself, you all. I know we've been watching a lot about Bob Proctor when it comes to the shift. But you all, I want to talk about a real important thing that I know that we all have in common. Every single person in this world have in common is decision. How many of us know that if we made a decision a little sooner, or if we look back, we like, dang, I wish I would have been a little bit more faster. I wish I could make these decisions sooner. I wish I would have made all 100 of my decisions that I made in my career so far. I wish I would have made them in 30 days. What took me 20 years, I wish I could have done it in 30 days. And so it all boils down to decision making, which led me to this video by Bob Proctor, you all. So give me a moment, let me share my screen with you all, and then I'll bring up that amazing video. Good morning, happy Friday. And it looks like you can see my
Friday, bro. It's Monday.
You, Lord have mercy.
You know, listen, you ready for
Monday,
the
y'all.
Look,
Happy Monday. Right. So
hey, you
Monday,
ready for the weekend again?
I know, right?
Drink your coffee. Take a minute.
Right. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get to the how to make great decisions in life. And this is by Bob Proctor himself. I'll go ahead and drop this video in the chat so that we can watch it on our leisure. But you all, it's just about making those decisions and things like that. And how much time do we spend on making those big decisions for ourselves and things of that nature? So this video is going to break it down and how to push us into a paradigm of making great decisions in a less fraction of a time than we normally be doing. So let's go ahead and get started.
It is important to understand that it's not difficult to learn how to make wise decisions. With the proper information and by subjecting yourself to certain disciplines, you can become a very proficient and effective decision maker. And remember, it is the people who do become effective at decision making who receive a big share of the world's rewards. Decision making is definitely a worthwhile subject to study and a mental discipline you can master. Decision making could be compared to a number of other mental disciplines like thinking, imagineering, or concentrating. Each one, when developed, brings with it tremendous rewards. The person who makes the decision to strengthen these mental muscles receives as their reward what is often considered a charmed life. You can virtually eliminate conflict and confusion in your life by becoming proficient at making decisions. Decision making brings order to your mind. And of course, this order is then reflected in your objective world, your results. James Allen, the great Victorian author, might have been thinking of decisions when he wrote, "We think in secret, and it comes to pass. Environment is but our looking glass." No one can see you making decisions, but they will almost always see the results of your decisions. The person who fails to develop this ability to make decisions is doomed because indecision sets up internal conflicts, which can, without warning, escalate into all-out mental and emotional wars. Psychiatrists have a name to describe these internal wars. It is ambivalence. My Oxford Dictionary tells me that ambivalence is the coexistence in one person of opposite feelings toward the same objective. You do not have to be the brightest person in town, and you certainly do not require a doctor's degree in psychiatry to understand you are going to have a bit of difficulty in your life, permitting your mind to remain in an ambivalent state for any period of time. The person who does permit it to exist will become very despondent and virtually incapable of any type of productive activity. It is obvious that anyone who finds themselves in such a mental state is not living. At best, they are merely existing. A decision or a series of decisions would change everything. A very basic law of the universe is create or disintegrate. Indecision causes disintegration. How often have you heard a person say, "I don't know what to do"? How often have you heard yourself say, "What should I do?" Think about some of the indecisive feelings you and virtually everyone else on this planet experience from time to time. Love them, leave them. Quit, stay. Do it, don't do it. Go bankrupt, no, don't. Go to work, watch TV. Buy it, don't buy it. Say it, don't say it. Tell them, don't tell them. Everyone, on occasion, has experienced these feelings of ambivalence. If it happens to you frequently, decide right now to stop it. The cause of ambivalence is indecision. But we must keep in mind that the truth is not always in the appearance of things. Indecision is a cause of ambivalence. However, it is a secondary cause. It is not the primary cause. I have been studying the behavior of people who have become very proficient at making decisions for over a quarter century. They all have one thing in common. They have a very strong self-image, a high degree of self-esteem. They may be as different as night is today in numerous other respects, but they certainly possess confidence. Low self-esteem or a lack of confidence is the real culprit here. Decision makers are not afraid of making an error. If and when they make an error in their decision or fail at something, they have the ability to shrug it off. They learn from the experience, but they never submit to the failure. Every decision maker was either fortunate enough to have been raised in an environment where decision making was a part of their upbringing, or they developed the ability themselves at a later date. They are aware of something that everyone who hopes to live a full life must understand. Decision making is something you cannot avoid. That is certainly worth repeating. If you hope to live a full life, you must become a proficient decision maker. I might also add that even those who are proficient at making decisions know they can improve. You may be thinking, all right, where do I start? You start improving your ability to make decisions in exactly the same place you start any journey and with exactly the same resources. You decide. Start right where you are with whatever you've got. That is the cardinal principle of decision making. Decide right where you are with whatever you've got. That is precisely why most people never master this important aspect of life. They permit their resources to dictate if and when a decision will or can be made. When John Kennedy asked Wernher von Braun what it would take to build a rocket that would carry a man to the moon and return him safely to Earth, his answer was simple and direct: the will to do it. President Kennedy never asked if it was possible. He never asked if they could afford it or any one of 1,000 other questions, all of which would have at the time been valid questions. President Kennedy made a decision. He said, "We will put a man on the moon and return him safely to Earth before the end of the decade." The fact that it had never been done before in all of the hundreds of thousands of years of human history was not even a consideration. He decided where he was with what he had. The objective was accomplished in his mind the second he made the decision. It was only a matter of time, which is governed by the natural law of the universe, before the goal was manifested in form for the whole world to see. I was just hours ago in an office with 3 people. We were discussing the purchase of shares in a company. I was selling, they were buying. After a reasonable amount of time, one of the partners asked me when I wanted a decision. I replied, right now. I said, you already know what you want to do. There was some discussion about money. I pointed out that money had nothing to do with it. Once you make the decision, you'll find the money every time. If that is the only benefit you receive from this particular message on decision making, burn it into your mind. It will change your life. I explained to these 2 people that I never let money enter my mind when I am deciding whether I will or will not do something. Whether I can afford it or not is never a consideration. Whether I want it or not is the only consideration. You can afford anything. There is an infinite supply of money. All of the money in the world is available to you when the decision is firmly made. If you need the money, you will attract it. I am well aware there are any number of people who will say, this is absurd. You can't just decide to do something if you do not have the necessary resources. And that's fine if that's the way they choose to think. I see that as a very limiting way of thinking. In truth, it is probably not thinking at all. It is very likely an opinion being expressed that was inherited from an older member of their family who did not think either. Thinking is very important. Decision makers are great thinkers. Do you ever give much consideration to your thoughts? How they affect the various aspects of your life? Although this should be one of our most serious considerations, unfortunately for many people, it is not. There's a very small select few who make any attempt to control or govern their thoughts. Anyone who has made a study of the great thinkers, the decision makers, the achievers of history, will know they very rarely agreed on anything when it come to a study of human life. However, there was one point which they were in complete and unanimous agreement on. And that was that we become what we think about. What do you think about? How often have you caught yourself saying, I'd like to do this or that, but I can't because? Whatever follows because is the circumstance. Circumstance may cause a detour in your life, but you should never permit them to stop you from making important decisions. Napoleon said, circumstance, I make them. The next time you hear someone say they would like to vacation in Paris or purchase a particular automobile, but they can't because they have no money, explain they don't need the money until they make a decision to go to Paris or purchase the car. When the decision is made, they will figure out a way to get the amount needed. They always do. Many misguided individuals try something once or twice, and if they do not hit the bullseye, they feel they are a failure. Failing does not make anyone a failure, but quitting most certainly does, and quitting is a decision. By following that form of reason, you would have to say, when you make a decision to quit, you make a decision to fail. Every day in America, you will hear about a baseball player signing a contract which will pay him a few $1 million a year. You should try and keep in mind that same player misses the ball more often than he hits it when he steps up to the plate. Everyone remembers Babe Ruth for the 714 home runs he hit, but they very rarely mention that he struck out 1,330 times. Charles F. Kettering said, and I quote, when you're inventing, if you flunk 999 times and succeed once, you're in. Now that is true of just about any activity you can name. The world will soon forget your failures in light of your achievements. Don't worry about failing. It will toughen you up and get you ready for the big win. Winning is a decision. Many years ago, Helen Keller was asked if she thought there was anything worse than being blind. She quickly replied there was something much worse. She said the most pathetic person in the world is the person who has their sight but no vision. You'd have to agree with Helen Keller. At 91, J.C. Penney was asked how his eyesight was. He replied that his sight was failing, but his vision had never been better. Isn't that great? Think about it. When your vision is clear, it becomes easy to make decisions. When a person has no vision of a better way of life, they automatically shut themselves in a prison. They limit themselves to a life without hope. This frequently happens when a person has seriously tried on a number of occasions to win, only to meet with failure time after time. Repeated failures can damage a person's self-image and cause them to lose sight of their potential. They therefore make a decision to give up and resign themselves to their fate. Take the first step in predicting your own prosperous future. Build a mental picture of exactly how you would like to live. Make a firm decision to hold on to that vision, and positive ways to improve everything will begin to flow into your mind. Many people make a beautiful vision of how they would like to live or what they would like from their business, but because they cannot see how they're going to make it all happen, they let the vision go. If they knew how they were going to make it happen or get it, they would have a plan, not a vision. There's no inspiration in a plan, but there sure is in a vision. When you get the vision, freeze frame it in your mind with a decision, and don't worry about how you're going to do it or where the resources will come from. Charge your decision with enthusiasm. That's important. Refuse to worry about how it will happen. There is a power much greater than you that never expresses itself other than perfectly, and that perfection will take care of that responsibility. There is no situation that isn't made worse by worry. Worry never solves anything. Worry never prevents anything. Worry never heals anything. Worry serves only one purpose. It makes matters worse. James Kirk said, if we worry, we don't trust. If we trust, we don't worry. Worry does not empty tomorrow of its grief, but it does empty today of its joy. Worry seems to be a national pastime, but it's also a sad waste of time. Remember what Dr. Kirk said, worry empties today of its joy. Don't worry, be happy, have faith. Worrying about lack is a clear indication there is a serious misunderstanding with respect to our source of supply. By our source, I mean you and me. We are both receiving every good that comes into our life from the same source. There is only one source of supply, and that is spirit. Everything comes from spirit. When you clearly understand that, you will find making a decision is something much easier to do. Every decision you make is based on one of 2 points. One, you're going to gain a profit, or two, you're going to avoid a loss. Most people who work for a corporation believe their pay comes from the company. When I am conducting a seminar, I make it very clear. Their pay comes from spirit, their only source of supply. It merely comes through their company. When you truly understand the source of your supply and then enhance your understanding with the laws by which spirit works, you will be able to make a decision and hold the picture of the successful outcome as a result of that decision, knowing that spirit will instantly begin sending to you whatever you require for the manifestation of your picture. I am well aware that there are millions of people who will laugh at you if you attempted to get them to accept what I've just said. However, it is important for you to remember that those same people are not able to explain why they are rejecting it or why it cannot happen. Our company has a great program called Born Rich. This Born Rich program explains why it will happen. We've come up with another program that's incredible. It'll show anyone how to earn a 6 or a 7-figure income. It is called Disciplined Income Acceleration, and it deals with the unlimited supply of money. The DIA program will show anyone, as I've just mentioned, how to earn a 6 or a 7-figure income. However, this brings us right back to the start. Earning that amount of money requires a decision. One of the instructors in the Disciplined Income Acceleration program, Jerry Robert, wrote a marvelous book, Conquering Life Obstacles. I found an interesting idea and one that you can gain tremendous benefit from in your efforts to become a more effective decision maker. Listen to this, advanced decision making. Isn't that great? Think about it. We make advanced bookings when we fly somewhere. That's quite common. We make advanced reservations to eliminate any confusion or problems when the time arrives for the journey. We do the same with renting a car for the same reason. Think of the problems you will eliminate by making many of the decisions you must make well in advance. I'll give you an excellent example. As I am preparing this message, it is Ramadan, a time where all practicing Muslims fast. I was in an office yesterday in Kuala Lumpur, and I was asked if I would like a cup of tea or coffee. I replied that I would, and I appreciated a cup of tea. The lady next to me was then asked if she would like a cup, and she replied, "No, I'm fasting." I smiled and said that was an advanced decision this lady had made. When she was asked, she did not have to decide whether she wanted anything or not. Whether she was thirsty or not was not a consideration. A decision had previously been made, and her advanced decision was well tempered with discipline. The exact same concept works with a person when they are on a diet to lose weight. Their decisions are made in advance. If they are offered a slice of chocolate cake or some Bavarian cream pie, they don't have to say, "Gee, that looks good. I wonder if I should." The decision is made in advance. You might want to read Jerry Roberts' book. It's an excellent article on advanced decision-making. I made a decision a long time ago that I would not participate in discussions of why something cannot be done. The only compensation you will ever receive for participating in or giving energy to that type of a discussion is something you do not want. I always find it amazing at the number of seemingly intelligent people who persist in dragging you into these negative brainstorming sessions. In one breath, these people tell you they seriously want to accomplish a particular objective, and in the next breath, they begin talking about why they can't. Think of how much more of life they would enjoy by making a decision that they will no longer participate in that type of negative energy. Permit me to caution you, advanced decisions must be mixed with an ample supply of discipline. All peak performers understand and use discipline. The program I previously referred to that my company conducts, where we teach people how to earn a 6 and a 7-figure income, is called Disciplined Income Acceleration. Discipline is to success what carbon is to steel. Any decision you make must be backed by discipline. Research indicates that highly successful individuals make decisions very quickly and change those decisions very slowly if and when they are changed at all. By comparison, the person who rarely enjoys any degree of success makes decisions very slowly, and they change their decisions very quickly and often. Those individuals who rarely win generally have the habit of being influenced in their decision-making by the opinions of others, while their successful counterparts follow their own counsel. The most natural thing in the world for you to do in life is probably the most destructive insofar as succeeding at anything is concerned. That is following the crowd. Historically, the crowd has always been traveling in the wrong direction. You were encouraged to be like the other kids when you were young. You have been conditioned to follow the crowd. In many schools, you were even dressed like the other kids. Well, you're not a child any longer, and you're not like the other kids. You are unique. That is what makes the Mona Lisa so valuable. There is only one, and similarly, there is only one of you. Be yourself. Break away from the crowd. Make your own decisions. The humanistic psychologist, Dr. Abraham Maslow, who devoted his life to studying self-actualized people, stated very clearly that we should follow our inner guide and not be swayed by the opinions of others or outside circumstances. Maslow's research showed that the decision makers in life had a number of things in common. Most importantly, they did work they felt was worthwhile and important. They found work a pleasure, and there was little distinction between work and play. Dr. Maslow said, to be self-actualized, you must not only be doing work you consider to be important, you must do it well and enjoy it. Dr. Maslow recorded that these super performers, these superior performers, had values. Those qualities in their personalities they considered to be worthwhile and important. Their values were not imposed by society, parents, or other people in their lives. They made their own decisions. Like their work, they chose and developed their values themselves. Your life is important, and at its best, life is short. You have the potential to do anything you choose and do it well. but you must make decisions. And when the time for decision arrives, you must make your decision where you are with what you've got. Let me leave you with the words of two great decision makers, William James and Thomas Edison. William James suggested that compared to what we ought to be, we are making use of only a small part of our physical and mental resources. Stating this concept broadly, the human individual thus lives far within his limits, possesses powers of various sorts, which he habitually fails to use. Years later, Thomas Edison said, and I quote, "If we all did the things we are capable of doing, we would literally astound ourselves. By making a simple decision, the greatest minds of the past are available to you. You can literally learn how to turn your wildest dreams into reality. Decide to study the lives of the great leaders of the past and couple that decision with the decision to develop all of that potential that William James and Thomas Edison were referring to. You have it, use it. Put this valuable information to use. Recognize the greatness which exists within you. You have limitless powers of potential and ability waiting to be developed. Start today. There's never any time that's better than the present."
All right, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen right there. Man, I really enjoyed that video a lot. He said something in the video about the decision. So we don't make that big decision to we don't make it a huge decision to fail at what we want. We make a teeny tiny decision every single day. We make a tiny decision to accept distraction. We make a tiny decision of not going through the numbers. We make a tiny decision of not inviting people to the webinars. We make a tiny decision of accepting someone in our space. We don't make a huge decision to be a disrespected person. We make a tiny decision by not correcting someone right when they show us the disrespect. And then ultimately, weeks later, now down the line, we're an abused person because we make a tiny decision of not speaking up for ourselves immediately. So that's one thing I got up. But it looked like this Queen Tambria from Mississippi got her hand raised. Unmute your line. Take it away, Queen. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm a little stopped up, but I got a lot from this video, and I appreciate you for hosting the accountability call this morning, King. So I think I heard you say this more than one time as well. Indecision causes disintegration. When you don't make a decision to make a decision on your life, that vision that you have for what you want, it goes away. Then you'll be sitting back looking, thinking like, why didn't I not do this at this point in time when everything, all the signs are firing off? They tell you to make that decision, but it was a lot of words that were put together that really came, really came to me, which decisions requires discipline. So in order to keep that vision going, you got to make a decision. Then you got to add that discipline in there to keep that vision going. Because when you don't, it's going to go away. It was just a theory in your mind. Theories can be turned to visions that can eventually become true in your life, but you have to make a decision. That's all I got, King.
Thank you so much for sharing. She's absolutely right. If we don't move on our vision like the way that we moving to get to the bathroom, then it's just gonna disintegrate. Like we'll leave a mess all over the place. We'll have a shitty situation. I'm sure we all don't make a decision to get in shitty situations, but the inaction to make a decision puts us in those shitty situations that are, I guess, ultimately more shittier than it's shitty, period. It's not what we want whatsoever. So let's just call a thing. It's a shitty situation. So thank you so much for sharing. That was very, very valuable. We appreciate you, Queen. Looks like the next queen got her hand up, Janice. Go ahead and turn your camera on, unmute your line, take it away, Queen. Good morning, good morning.
Morning. I appreciated that from this morning because I struggle with I am a very indecisive person. So this really helped me and helped me to realize that I need more discipline on making decisions and making the right decisions. So I appreciate that from this morning. I took away a lot. I just wanted to turn that in a little bit.
Thank you so much, Queen. We appreciate you inputting your value and what it has done for you. You all, that's something that we have in common with. Sometimes we don't make those decisions. What help us make those decisions is if we're writing down that goal list, a to-do list. So we know that we literally it's literally about 95 days left into the new year. It's about 95 days left. Just imagine what our life would be if we go ahead, you know what, I'm gonna make a decision that the last 90 days of this year is gonna be better than the first 300 or the first 290 days, whatever the case may be. The next 90 days of this year will be better than this entire year. We can make that decision. That can be a decision that we all come to on today. You know what, the next 90 days, one, I'm going to be more focused on getting the things that I want. I want to produce more income. If I want to produce more income, okay, cool. I need to see how many numbers do I want to go through today. We'll start to come up with different solutions. And then like Bob said in that video, when they're fasting, you meet someone and you ask them, hey, do you want some of this soda? No, I'm fasting. It's not I just made a decision today. I made a decision months ago. And so that decision led me to say no to you. Let your no be your no and your yes be your yes. So it looks like the next queen got her hand raised. Go ahead, Michelle, unmute your line, turn on the camera and take it away if you can.
Hi, everybody.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. I'm so tired because I drove back from Phoenix yesterday. But anyway, that is a awesome way to start your Monday. Thank you so much, Terrell. When you're making decisions, you can't let anybody influence you making your decisions. You can start out today and do whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you want to accomplish based on what you know has happened in your life already. And you made the goals on where you want to go in the future. Mm-hmm. So today, I've already made it a point. I told my team yesterday, I said, everybody on my team is going to win today. And this is what you have to do. Now, I already told them my decision. My decision is to be there to do three-way calls with them. If they choose not to use me on their three-way calls and they don't have a win today, that's not my fault. Because I made the decision. I told them this is what I'm going to do. Now they have to make the decision on what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. Now, if you want to be successful in life, you cannot let anyone influence you to not do what you know what you're supposed to do. I made a decision because I know what this business has done for me financially. And I know that what it's done, the products has done for me. There's nobody can tell me. There's nobody can tell me that this program does not work. My credit score has gone from a 409 to a 658 in a few short months. So there's nobody can tell me. So you have to make a decision to know that what you've got in your pocket is better than anything else out there. You got to make a decision to know that you can help lots of people. If you don't make that decision, you're going to be left behind, and none of us are going to be left behind because we know what we got, right? Mm-hmm. All right, you guys have a great day. I got to get off of here. I got to get to work. I'll be here listening, though. I'll be here listening to everybody on here, but I got to get to work because you know what? My life today depends on my decision right now.
Woo. That's what I'm talking about, Michelle. Thank you so much. I want to give it back to you for that amazing testimony and just dropping those gems, you all. You know, Michelle had said something and it reminded me of you all. It just boils down to a decision, like one decision that you can make will decide what you're going to do next week. You make one decision, you're like, you know what? I'm just going to talk to 100 people per day for the next 90 days. And my goal is this type of income. My goal is this many new team members. And you just make a decision to go forward and don't stop until you meet those numbers. Just imagine what type of discipline it can take. It's going to take a lot of different discipline. And it's so amazing that we can make one decision today that's going to ultimately affect some decisions that we're going to do next week. Like for some of us, we made a decision to accept a job offer. Ultimately, that made you make some other decision 5 days a week. You got to get up at a certain time. You got to drive to work at a certain time. You got to eat at a certain time. That one decision dominoed effect into some other decisions. So I want you all to think about, just close your eyes, everybody close your eyes. I want you to think about a decision. I want you all to think about going vice president. I want you all to picture yourself hitting vice president. Vice president looks like a minimum of $100,000 a month in volume, with a minimum of 40 to 60 agents. You need a minimum of 3 sales directors. 2 must be lineage, 1 can be sponsor place, and a minimum of $10,000 in each leg, with a total of 5 legs. I want you to picture your back office. I want you to picture the $15,000 direct deposit check that you got on that Thursday. Is that check yours? I want you to picture your name on that check. I want you to picture that direct deposit in your bank account. Whoever your bank is, mine is Bank of America. And you just make a decision today that'll get you there. What is that decision that you will make? Maybe it's I need to focus on my finances more. What is it? Maybe you need to market a little bit more. The answers are already here. We know that. There are no new answers in this world. The answer is already here. Our mind is just ready to be focused on getting the answer. How would 3 new sales directors make you feel in your business if you were to get them this month? 3 new sales directors.
Hey, bro, if they making money, I'm happy. If everybody's getting a check and they ain't got to go clock in nowhere, man, that's amazing.
Look at that. We just one decision away. One decision away, you all, from an ultimate goal. Some people, like they said, some people want to lose 20 pounds. They specific. I want to lose 20 pounds in 30 days. Because of that decision, it's going to make you say no to some other things. Oh, okay, so I need to go ahead and cut out this eating. I need to not eat past 8 o'clock. I'm going to cut out my sweets. I'm going to do me a little detox. But for us, in order for us to get to vice president, what do we have to do? We know some of these answers. We know these numbers. We know about how many people we need to, about how many people we need to sign up. But what is the indecision of stopping us to getting it at no matter what? We know it's possible. People have hit vice president in a month, 2 months. What's stopping us? What's stopping you from making that decision? Is it some old habits that's pulling you back into some old paradigm thinking? Sometimes we know the decisions we need to make, but let's ask ourselves, what are the indecisions that I'm making? What didn't I do consistently? Because it's a new level of thinking that's going to require a new level of activity. We can't get new results doing the same thing. What took us to sales director won't take us to VP. What took us to VP won't take us to RVP. What decisions am I doing in my day life that are not getting me the results? What am I doing? So look at every single thing that I'm doing, that you're doing, that's not taking you to the next level. Okay, I can do without this. I can do without that. I can do without that. So that leaves room for my mind to focus on something else. Y'all know how it is when the eviction process, it ain't working out. I'm sorry, we got to vacate. It's not working out. Maybe it's something that we're doing normally that we are conscious of or subconsciously doing that's not pushing us into that. What exactly doesn't promote your healthy mindset? What are you not doing? Maybe we're not writing down our goals daily. Maybe we're not making our goals non-negotiable. Maybe like, oh, okay, if I do it if I feel like it. Or your goals one of them things where, okay, I'll do it if I feel like it. Or is it non-negotiable? What's non-negotiable? This is something that I don't let the outside world speak. So Michelle had talked about, she had said something earlier about we're making goals based on the outside. We should be making our goals based on the inside. Like when Bob say, money is never an issue. That's an outside thing. Money is an outside thing. But my desires are all on the inside. What is it that we are truly desiring? Write down some of this. Some of us itching to get off this call to go do something right now. Some of us itching to get off this call to go talk to people. Some of us itching to get off the call to go back on Facebook to start doing whatever. Some of us itching to get off of here to go smoke a cigarette. Somebody probably itching to go roll up, do whatever. What is your body subjecting you to do versus what your spirit really wants? Maybe you need to put yourself into a book, because once you read a book and listen to things, you start to ask yourself different questions. If you're not asking, wow, I never thought about that before on a daily basis, that means we're not renewing our mind enough. We're not discovering what's new and what's possible for us. Every day we should be attracting different miracles, whether it's our own story or somebody else's. Somebody's miracle should do something to you. It's miracles happening all the time, but we are so distracted we can't even see them. But focus on what we want. You'll be able to look out different miracles. You're like, oh, dang, I'm a walking miracle. This happened last week just because I focused on it. I want to open up the floor to a couple of more people. What did y'all receive? Maybe it's something that you didn't get in this video. Maybe it's something that you want to speak about. Maybe it's something that you noticed. All right, look like I got a king raise his hand. Xavier, go ahead, king. Turn on that camera, turn on that mic, take it away.
All right, Graham Rising. First of all, thank you for having me. Good morning, everybody. So one thing I got from this call or from the video that you have put up was that I need to get my mind right. I need to start making better decisions for myself, and start actually, basically, before I make the decision, like think about it, contemplate it for a little bit, make sure it's the right decision before I actually go forward with it. One more thing that I got from the video was patience. Once again, like I said before, patience will always take you further in life. the more you have patience with whatever decision you're making, the more the decision you're making will give you a greater outcome.
Yep.
Those are two things I learned.
Absolutely. Thank you, King. Thank you, King. You know, he had mentioned that he had mentioned making the right decision. And, you know, I want to emphasize on making the right decision. You are the only one who knows what's the right decision for you is yourself. No one can tell you exactly how to live your life, your 1 in a million life. Nobody can tell you that, oh yeah, you're supposed to make this decision. But one thing I can say is, like the video mentioned, you can make a decision, and even if you're wrong, you're still going to learn something out of it and not let that affect your morale, not let that affect your decisions and things like that, not let that affect your discipline towards that decision.
Already been done.
So definitely make a decision, whether it's wrong or right, figure it out afterwards. Just make a decision. Get used to making those decisions and not second guessing yourself. Because they say the longer that we wait to make a decision, the less likely we are to make a decision. But it looks like I got a queen who raised her hand. Nicole, unmute yourself, turn on your camera, and take it away, queen.
Hi.
Good morning, queen. Happy Monday.
So I just had to show you guys my beautiful hair. My daughter decided she wanted to braid it yesterday, and the braid turned into some blue colors. So anyways, so I always love your calls, especially Monday mornings. It pushes me definitely through the week. Excuse my dogs.
That's okay.
But Bob Proctor is amazing. And I was actually thinking about sending you over this video this weekend, because when I watched it, I thought of you. I was like, Terrell would just love this. But one thing that we are discussing in church, and the segment that we're going through, is called Better Decisions, Fewer Regrets. And through this, it's about a 5-week course. And the one thing that we talked about yesterday, let me go into my notes real quick, is Ephesians 5:15 through 5:16. In light of my past experiences, and this is just a question to ask yourself, right, as you're making your decisions. In light of my past experiences, my current circumstances, my future hopes and dreams, what is a wise thing for me to do? And we were talking about how we live on the line between responsible and irresponsible. We live in between the line of legal and illegal. We live on that line of right and wrong. But if we make those wise decisions, we're always going to be further into the greater in life. So it's always important to really think before you make your decision, is this a wise decision? How is this going to impact my future, my dreams, my goals? Despite what happened in my past, I understand that if this comes arise again, I know how to make a better decision. My present right now, it doesn't matter how I feel, what I'm going through. Is this a wise decision for me? So it's so important for us as we look at our days and what we're going to do. Are we staying on that line of comfort? Are we sitting there just waiting, for something good to happen to us? Or are we making the right decisions, better decisions, so that we have fewer regrets in our lives? So that's all I have. We're headed out the door for school. This is always my morning routine. But thank you so much for letting me share. And I love all of you so much.
Woo-wee. Nicole, you said a mouthful right there. Now, I don't know if that video didn't do it, then Nicole just painted the picture. She said we live on a thin line. They say it's a thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line between illegal and legal. It's a thin line between right and wrong. It's a thin line between those two. And we've got in the habit of just living, we've gotten the habit of just waking up and, just going through life. But when's the last time you gave yourself an assessment? Like literally, ask yourself this. And if you all can hear this, write this down, and answer these questions to yourself. Ask yourself this question. Am I doing the things necessary to take me to the next level? Question one. That's question one. Question two. What are the things that I'm doing, or what decisions am I making to stop me from becoming the person of my dreams? What decisions am I making to stop me becoming the person of my dreams? And just list them out. Like, I don't care how ugly they are. Some of us, we still do have self-sabotaging habits, and we just don't know. We just become so addicted to them, or we just do them without thinking about it. Ask yourself that. You got to be real with yourself, because can't nobody tell you about you. Don't you dare let somebody come up and tell you about you. Ask yourself, what decisions am I making that are preventing me from becoming the person I dream of? And you will know what you need to stop. Don't focus on them. Focus on what you will look like without them. Once you identify those decisions that are stopping you, then focus on the opposite decision. Don't focus on that negative decision. Once you identify the negative, replace it with the positive. Replace it with a positive. If you ever are feeling like doing something that's negative or self-destruction, pick up a book. If you know it's self-destructive, replace it with a book. Replace it with a video or something. Just absolutely replace it and dedicate yourself to yourself. Dedicate yourself to yourself. And so I want to go, we got about 5 more minutes here. Does anybody else want to unmute their line and share anything? Anybody else want to unmute their line and share? It look like Angelisa. Good morning, Queen. Happy Monday. Take it away.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. One word that has been sticking with me is breakthrough. Like breaking through the barriers, the walls, the false expectations, anything that stops you from being the best version of you. I went for a walk like this week, I believe. Well, first I went to Chicago because I needed to be around family, refresh, and I was also doing face-to-face, like sharing of my business and getting reconnected a little bit to kind of boost me up. I just needed some mommy time, which was with my spiritual mom, and my daughter needed some grandpa time while I worked. So it just all worked out. So I went for a walk here in Iowa, and I noticed a big area of like lily pads and flowers. So basically they grow out of dirt. Like these beautiful flowers grow literally from water and dirt. And I've never seen so many in real life. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is beautiful. So I imagined myself like being like hidden in that dirt and then like literally growing into something beautiful. And then I asked myself, like, when in my life did I feel like the best version of me? And I told myself, first I asked myself, am I taking myself seriously? I don't know why, like I came home and I saw my bed unmade and I saw my room and I saw my house and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm still unpacking. I'm still getting things in order. And I was like, am I taking myself seriously? And then I also asked myself, like, how do I feel about people? Like, I'm always asking myself sometimes, like, do they take me serious? And then I started to really dig deep. Like you said, we have to do an evaluation of ourselves and really dig deep to get rid of bad habits, just all that stuff, those layers that prevent us from being the best version of ourselves. So I started to tell myself, like, you need to start taking yourself seriously so that you can start taking everything else seriously, and everything else will work together. So it started with, you know, cleaning up. It started with organizing things, or like, I'm a big organizer. When things are organized, I focus better. I have better confidence. I can do things without thinking, like positive, great decision making, without feeling, you know, like a blockage. So I also wrote that I had to grieve the old me to create the new by letting go of mindsets, habits, people, places, and things. And then you were then asking us to ask ourselves a question, and as you were telling us what that question was to ask ourselves, that's when the question came to me of, I asked myself, when in my life was I the most happiest or effective, no matter what I was going through? And it was 2012, February, March. I had my 2 kids, and it didn't matter what I was going through. It didn't matter like that I was a domestic violence victim, or working from home, or struggling through my disability, which was like sciatica, and still healing from giving birth, living on the 3rd floor to save money for our family. You couldn't tell me nothing, because I was the best mom and the best wife. It didn't matter what everything looked like. I still had a smile on my face, and I was still pushing through, and I was still making the decision that we were going to have a great day no matter what, through morning routines, afternoon routines, and evening routines. So I started to work on the inside, and now it feels the same way on the outside, you know, like working on the innards for the outer, right? And so my hair was actually this color when I was in that moment of my life. And so I made a decision after I felt like, okay, you went through all of the digging and you went through all of that work. Now I can do the outside transformation. And so I just feel like I'm on an even plane. Everything's in right alignment. Everything works together for me. And one of the things that he said, because I was taking a lot of notes, he said, sorry, he said a lot of good things, but there was one in particular that stood out to me. Oh my goodness, Lord, come on, help me. He talked about holding on to our vision. Sometimes we wonder how we want to plan, but if we had the vision, he said to freeze that frame, right? And then change your decision with enthusiasm. There is no situation that isn't made worse with worry. But there was one specific thing that he said, and I think it's at the very end. The greatest mindset of the past lives in the great of all of our potential. Use it. Oh, make the decision where you are with what you have. And that's where I'm at right now in my life. Making the decision with where I am with what I have, and knowing that I have nothing but great things that are coming my way. And that's all I wanted to share. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Angelisa. Appreciate you, Queen. I love every time you talk. Your energy is there. I can tell that you are emotionally invested. So I'm definitely looking forward to your success, promotions, and many endeavors that are seeking you. But you all, she said what she just said. The last thing that you said, just sometimes we're making these decisions, and the first thing that comes up, like, do I have this? We try to think of things on the outside that we have to make our dream more real or whatever. Because it's like, oh, okay, ooh, do I want $1 million? Then we start thinking about things on the outside, how to get that $1 million. Which means if we start thinking about things on the outside, we really don't truly believe in that power. Because if we really truly believed in the power, the law of vibration, the law of attracting who you are, then to think about, oh, how I'm gonna do this, how I'm gonna do that. By us thinking those things, we automatically eliminate that power. We automatically eliminate that power by trying to find something on the outside to make that real. Well, I don't got this, or dang. We start to look for things in the physical to add to spiritual, and it doesn't make any sense. So thank you so much for sharing that, Queen. That just spoke to me. But you all, it's Monday. It's Money Making Monday. It's so much that we can do. Write down our goals. Practice something, thinking about things extraordinary. You know, if you want a big ass house, picture that 10,000 square foot house with the pool, sitting up on a hill, with your own private lake, with your own, guest house, a 3-bedroom guest house. Gated community. You got to pull up 3 blocks down to get let in. What exactly it is that do we want? And just focus on those things. Just focus on it. Just like you want something to eat, your body tells you when you're hungry. Your body will not tell you when your body won't tell you when you're not focusing. It'll show up in anxiety and stress and things like, oh, I guess it will tell you. But still, again, you all, we got this powerful tool called visualization. Visualizing that we want it's like practicing doing it. Studies have shown. But ask yourself those questions. What habits am I doing that are disintegrating who I see myself becoming? Once you identify those self-sabotaging habits, that's much easier to stop them, you all. So happy Monday. Go on out there and kill it. And we'll see you all at the TOP. Y'all know how we do it. Unmute those mics. Let's go. Let's grow.
Let's grow.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Let's
Let's
go.
go.
Let's
Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.